Hi, I'm Kate. Welcome to Blooms in the Yard. Today I am moving one more clematis from the side garden. It is my last clematis to move. There are still a couple things that I'm saving from the city's going to be redoing the whole storm drain that goes through our side garden. So I'm rescuing a clematis, and it is growing on a structure that I'm actually then going to use to make a planter out of. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about the English ivy problem and how it's kind of overwhelming for me, but I'm just keeping it under control as much as I possibly can. I planted this clematis here when we first moved in years ago. It's planted over here, and instead of like looking really pretty on this thing like it's supposed to, it grows over there. The English ivy has taken over. There wasn't any English ivy in our yard when we moved in. It's slowly moved over from the neighbor's yard. I don't feel like I can tackle it because of where it is on this is very steep. I don't know if you can tell, but you would have to like climb down. And I mean, I would just need a crew of people. And even then, I doubt it would be able to be gotten rid of. So I feel like it's out of my control. All I try to do is keep it from getting too far into my planting beds. It's really taken over right here. So I want to save the clematis today. That's my goal. I'm unsure so the storm drain will be coming, it comes out right there. So very possible that this would get destroyed. So my goal is just to save the clematis and maybe to beat this ivy back, to like cut it back, pull it back as far as I can. But honestly, it's kind of a lost cause, so I don't think I'm gonna spend my entire day trying to deal with that. I'm not even quite sure where to start here. So the clematis itself is growing in rocks. So it blooms a little bit, like it's in the shade, its roots are growing in rocks, and it's competing with English ivy. So it's a miracle that it does anything at all. When we first moved in this area, all of the planting bed was invasive honeysuckle and basically just piles of leaves, but under the leaves there was some Vinca, which we did let stay. Some people comment on the invasives in my yard. You know, a lot of these were here. Some of them I don't feel like I can stop. So I'm not pro ivy. I wish it was not here. One of the reasons why it's going to be hard to get rid of the ivy is because over here it's growing in amongst the Vinca. So I may have to get rid of the Vinca and the ivy, and then I'm just going to have to keep it all back. For now, just going to do what I can to save this clematis. I don't know. Pull it out of here without breaking everything. Probably not. I'm gonna have to be a little bit rough. See if I can find where this clematis is growing from. All right, let's see if I can start digging. Well, came out pretty easily. Okay, I know this is another really shady spot, but at least it would not be competing with rocks and ivy here. I'm going to try to get it to grow on this tree, and maybe it'll get some sun. So I'm going to go for it. I have moved a lot of clematis from the side garden because it's a perfect part sun plant, and that's what my east side has, is part sun. So I've moved a lot of clematis, and I feel like I'm running out of places, although that's not true. There's always room for more clematis. I'm going to put this guy here. I'll have to put some wires or something on the tree to give it something to attach to. Just a little bit of loose wires around the tree. I brought out this brown wire. Don't know where it came from. It's probably for bonsai or I don't know, something. I'm going to attach it to one of these landscaping stakes. Put that in the ground. Just kind of wrapping this around here. I'm going to put this in the ground. Hopefully where I won't hit any. Let's put it close to the clematis. Then I'm going to loosely wrap it around. It's very loosely wrapped around there. Then I'm just going to have the clematis follow the line of the wire, and I'm just going to wrap it through. Probably need to tie it a bit. I'm sure I did quite a bit of damage pulling it out of that wire structure, so these leaves and buds may not look good in a few days. But doing the best I can. I've been literally needing to move this clematis for years, so it's one positive with the storm drain project. It's forcing me to do something I need to do. I will be super excited if these buds actually bloom. I'm not expecting them to. It's been through some trauma, but you know, if it lives, we're good. But I think it could look pretty blooming right behind the bird bath like that. I usually keep water hyacinths in there. So yeah, that's something I need to be getting soon, but still been pretty cold. Anyway, getting distracted. There's my clematis. Okay, so here is my next project. I really like this planter thing. I've had it over by the waterfall and I had a clematis growing on it. But the problem that I had with this, which is why I had put a clematis on it, is that there's never quite the perfect pot for this. So like this one goes down in there, but it's kind of too small. And then this one that's wider you know, kind of stands up too far and doesn't really take advantage of the space down there. I've tried like all different pots and like nothing quite worked. This one fits okay, but it really should be taller. I mean, that one's a good shape, but I would like for it to be bigger. So my solution is, drum roll please, I'm gonna use this. It is coming apart. In fact, when I bought it last night, the lady at the register was like, do you want this? And I said, yeah, because it was on clearance. And I knew I was gonna have to like mess with the size anyway. So I went ahead and just got one that was on clearance that was 50% off, since nothing was gonna be perfect anyway. My thought is using this, cutting it so that it can splay out a little bit, and then using this. So kind of doing a little bit of everything. So that's what I'm gonna do, and we'll see how this turns out. I don't wanna plant it directly into the cocoa fiber. I think I'd rather have kind of a pot. So is it gonna splay out like I want it to? And that's mostly just to preserve as much water as I can. Let's get this down in here first. Let's see, I probably want the seam in the back. That in there. I'm gonna cut off some extra. Not sure if this is gonna fit in here. We'll make it work, right? Somebody's probably gonna comment and be like, there was an easier way to do that. There probably is. I just don't know what it is. So you guys can tell me. So now let's look at what plants are going in here. I want to put this guy. This is the coral reef Echeveria, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. This is my annual begonia. I think I'll go ahead and put 2 in here. I've got this guy. Yeah, I definitely want him to be going here. I've got this stuff. This is very dry. Okay, I think I like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's see. So right here is where that planter was with the clematis growing on it, and I had rocks all around, and I removed all of that. I just wasn't sure if it was going to get damaged or not, so I decided that it would be best to move it. I did collect a lot of those rocks to use again later. I had a goal that day to get rid of a lot of the ivy, and it's too overwhelming. I just don't feel like I can do it. It's just taken over, and it goes all the way down into the creek. It came from the neighbor's yard over there, and it didn't come up here. I would remove it, but it's growing on this steep bank, and I didn't feel like there was a way to remove it. The Vinca was here, now the ivy's here, and all I can do at this point, I think, is just stop it from coming this way. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. It's the best I can do. Sorry for people that bothers. I just don't know how else I can get rid of it. I have thought about removing the Vinca from at least this front area and planting other things, just because now that the ivy is moving in, I can't remove the ivy if the Vinca is there because it's all growing together. So, the Vinca for me is not a problem. It doesn't hurt my plants, but that ivy will be a problem. And so that I kind of started doing that over here. I had the Vinca. Now that that's removed, like if the ivy tries to come this way, I'll see it and I'll be able to remove it. So that's that. The ivy has not reached that area yet. But the reason that I'm letting the Vinca grow there is because it's all rocks, it's all boulders. So there's not a lot that can grow there. I did plant that hosta back there. It's a Francis Williams hosta. It was huge. It has slowly shrunk over time because there's no dirt really for it to grow in. This is the Dancing Queen hosta. It's growing in about 4 inches of dirt and then solid rock below. So it would be a lot bigger if it was somewhere else. Same with the turtle head growing next to it. But anyway, that's that. I wanted to show you where I put that clematis. I planted it here on this tree, and it did get damaged. So you can see the top half is dead, but the bottom half still looks okay. So I think that I just probably bent it when I was moving everything around. So I'm gonna trim that up. This morning when I started planting in this planter, I was like, wait, what happened to that clematis? I couldn't even remember where I put it. I haven't watered it once. Thankfully it's rained. Okay, I'm trying to see where this got broken or damaged. Oh, yeah, it was very clearly broken. Ah, oh well. So it's been a week or two since I planted this clematis, and part of it was damaged, but I didn't see till later, so I ended up taking that part off. So there's less plant than there used to be. You can see that it's blooming, but it's all on the back side, so we're gonna have to climb back there to get a good look at it. There's where it's planted, and you kind of see the piece that broke off right there. And I'm climbing back here. So here is the clemattis. Got to climb all the way back here to see it blooming, but it is blooming. It did survive. I'll see if I can twist it around to the front. Okay, so I did twist it around to the front, but honestly, the plant's not looking fabulous, but it'll just probably need some time and then it will recover. Well, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon.